into a checkered band system. He urged operators to ensure their vehicles, taxi badges, inspection stickers and other documentation are fully compliant ahead of any transition. Maxi taxi operators in South Trinidad say they support the concerns behind the nationwide protest by drivers along the priority bus route, but many say they cannot afford to stay off the road. Drivers in Point Fortin, Penal and Princestown told CNC3 News they share frustrations over outstanding government payments, illegal competition and speed limit regulations, but with bills to pay and families to support, they chose to continue working. They say the maxi taxi hub at King's Wharf in San Fernando is unsafe after hours with few passengers and no police patrol. Point Fortin driver Rajendra Rampasad says he understands why some operators are protesting, but if they stay home, they will not be able to pay their bills.
It's a good thing what they're doing, but right now, I don't know for other people. I have bills to pay, I have children to go to school and yeah. So I could not support it, but the other support it, I get a full 100. I get a full 100 because it have a lot of things need to be done. And they're taking the maxi taxi as granted.
Police say a major anti-illicit trade operation in South Oropouche has taken thousands of unsafe items off the shelves. The crackdown netted more than 2,700 products, including counterfeit clothing, illegal cigarettes, unregistered pharmaceuticals such as male enhancement pills, and defective electrical goods. Officers raided 2 supermarkets and a private home, uncovering fire and safety violations along the way. Proprietors were warned to fix breaches such as locked emergency exits and exposed wiring. The multi-agency task force led by Deputy Commissioner Natasha George says investigations are ongoing into the origin and distribution of the items. Well, stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Running in from studio this morning, welcome. Good morning, TNT. It's your morning brew for today, the 3rd of June 2026. It's Wednesday, the day before your Corpus Christi holiday. And we are here not only today, but we will also give you that Corpus Christi morning brew edition, that installment. It's happening tomorrow for just 1 hour. So we're here with you for the entire week. It's lots going on, and we're going to unpack some of the major stories bright and early on this Wednesday morning. Again, welcome to one and all. Here's hoping you and yours, you get through a very productive day. From what we understand, things are easing up. It's not full 100 capacity, and of course that smooth wheel turning, literally, on the bus route, but and well, other parts too, because it's not only just the east-west corridor. We have some photographers today going to check out the situation in the west today, what's going on in Pitti Valley, Diego Martin. Of course, those maxis make their way through St. James. So we'll get a little perspective on that, and some more coming out of the Southland. Again, that's City Gate on a regular day. That's how we know the City Gate to be. But Monday, well, Monday was the worst of it. Yesterday, still some disruption. Not full 100 capacity just yet, and the protest based on the original template should continue up until today. Now, we're seeing on the front page that the Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation, Minister Zakur, went down yesterday. He's there greeting some pupils, you know, obviously for the optics, publicity, right? I guess going down to see firsthand what's happening. But I hope while the minister was there, he was able to take in the sights, sounds, and the smell of City Gate. And if this space falls under his purview, I'm hoping there can be a push to allocate some resources once and for all, because this has been long overdue. The upliftment and the renovation and the brightening, as it were, of that spot called City Gate. It baffles me that there is no difference to City Gate when I was a little boy like these, put up these young boys again. You see that? You see them young boys in a blue shirt and khaki pants? That was once me. Yeah? That was once Sheldon. That was once Leslie. All of us. Khaki pants and blue shirt. And when I was going through Citygate to go on what was called back then the Animal Express, the blue bus, remember the old hard blue bus? We had a little bus pass and you're running to get home and you're pushing. Now there's been improvement with the actual, the buses. I mean, come on, I have to be fair. We have gone from the blue bus to what we have now with air-conditioned coach, right? So there's been improvement even with the maxis. Remember back in the day it had bread van. I barely see a bread van in this modern times. So every maxi man, you know, you step up your maxi got AC, internet. The maxis have screens. So we have seen a shift when it comes to the actual mode of transport. But the hub, if Shambles was a building, it would be Citygate. And I hope the minister could allocate some resources to ensure that we uplift, we upgrade, and we give Citygate that modern feel. It's a classic building. I'm not ever suggesting to throw down that building. That building there long before me, you, everyone here looking on this morning. But there's lots that could be done within the space, and there's been so much wastage over the years. Money just going down the tubes for all kind of different projects that we can't even see the end result. So as it pertains to a major hub that welcomes, tens of thousands every single day into the city, that should be a beacon. It should be a place where people, you come in Port of Spain and they say, wow. Even for the foreigners who might take a maxi, they could say, wow. Because you go to other parts of the world and you see their Grand Central, you see their particular, well, in most cases, train station, bus station, whatever the case. Oh, to talk for the infrastructure we see in Asia. You ever see how they do those train stations and those transportation hubs in China, in Japan? Even North Korea. When they get a chance, Google North Korea's mass transit hub and the way they keep their particular train stations, the kind of mosaic tiles they use, the cleanliness. You could eat on the floor, and I've never been to North Korea, but based on the footage, and this is not just North Korean propaganda, we're talking here foreigners who travel and showing your way. It's impressive. So I'm just suggesting here that while all this is going on, I'm happy actually that the minister got a chance to go down yet again. He didn't, it's obviously not the first time. But Citygate, something must be done. Of course, the Arima hub, let's put a little pitch in for Arima, because what Arima is dealing with right now is not even a hub, but what is that? All right, and it can't happen overnight, and the resources are limited. Money's tight. Some might suggest the spend should be on other more important activities. However, that's easy when you have your car and you're jumping in your car and under your AC and listening to music and going home. For the traveling public, which still makes up a vast majority of this country, and I was also once there, we need to improve on Citygate. It can't be Citygate looking the same way in 2026 how it was looking when I was just like these boys. Put them up again in khaki pants and blue shirt. There's been no improvement to the hub. I'm going to give you a quick story before I head to the back page. The reason I started to save relentlessly, this is real talk here. I was about 21 at the time, working on 98.9, now defunct. 98.9 doesn't exist. I was doing the overnight shift. Now started to rent my little apartment there in Aranguez. You know, I want to come into my own, be independent. Of course, I have no car, I have to travel. So I am going to Citygate here now, probably wee hours in the morning. I think I can't remember at what. All I know it was early morning time, probably like after the shift, 5 o'clock. This is like 5:30. I'm by Citygate. Most people obviously coming in. I'm trying to leave to get out of the city. And a rat that was the size of a small puppy. This rat was so big. You know, rats normally kind of twiddling the toes. This rat galloped into Citygate. You could have put a saddle on this rat back and ride it up the bus route. The rat run, and I have a real fear of rats. So the rat run over my foot, and I remember how the scream I screamed, as they say. Right? That's not even proper. I even know where. I mean, listen, I ball out. And I remember that moment. I told myself, nah, Jason, time to start saving to get yourself a car. Is that rat in Citygate that caused that? I've been real. That I never forget that. a ball, everybody around ball out, and it was just a shambles, man. And I find if I had to deal with that in the early 2000s, why is the young person also a 21-year-old, the person now trying to come into the own, have to deal with that still, man? So come on. I said all that to just re-emphasize the importance of, yes, I know the Maxi men have their concerns, but I've always had an issue with the way the hub looks. Yes, there's been minor improvement. There are more options for food, and you could get breakfast, and you could think, but it's still rusty and dusty. It is still rusty and dusty, and we could do better. So I'm glad the minister went and he saw firsthand. So I hope, I pray, I trust there might be some level of improvement. And you know what? When we open the lines after 7, I want you to let me know if I'm spot on and what's your vision for Citygate. Let's treat with the hub. Let me find out what's your vision for the space when we open the lines after 7. Let's head now to the back page and lessons learned from the loss against Ireland. That's the coach there. He's suggesting that, hey, we would have learned some lessons, because normally you go up against Ireland, you tell yourself it's a foregone conclusion, you figure the girls have it. But we lost, and our head coach, Shane Dietz, pardon me with the pronunciation there, he said important lessons learned. That story on page 38. Also, the West Indies team going to lean heavy on the batters against Sri Lanka. That story also on page 38. And I'm seeing where King, our national coach, he has called on Denzel Theobald to be the assistant coach for the Russia friendly. And you know Denzel had a great season with Army last time around, going unbeaten. So local men again at the front of the charge for us to rebuild and for us to restructure the football. Same way we want to restructure Citygate. I'm so happy the minister went and see it for himself. Right? See, the thing is, when ministers go there, regardless of who's at the wheel, is a one-off. They don't take the Maxi, they don't pass through the hub. If they had to pass through that and they had the power to change it, they would change it immediately. So my suggestion is, let's change it. Make a mark. You know, sit down and tell yourself, you know what mark I want to make, what lasting impression I want to make while I'm here during my tenure to serve the people. And I think this could be such a good option. And if I see him, I'll ask him too. If I see the minister, we invite him. Till last year, I saw him at the Day of Remembrance for Arrival Live, and we had a great interaction. I told him, listen, the opportunity is readily available, and by all means, I want you to come through and tell me about some of your plans. And he said he will. I haven't seen him just yet, so if you know him, tell him and let him know. We want to talk soon. We head to the brief before we head to our first discussion this morning. Trinidadian-born Jennifer Johnson Carroll nominated as U.S. envoy to TNT. So we monitor that development. And congrats to our very own Ryan Bechu, collects award for best podcast radio program. Ryan, yet again, this is from the Caribbean Media Awards in New York yesterday. Kudos to Ryan Bechu, consummate professional. One of my colleagues really proud to say that's one of our very own. Congrats, Ryan. Well deserved. We come back and we touch base with the president of the Route 3 Maxi Taxi Association, Vikash Kisundat. We have finally been able to lock in Vikash, and he steps in next to tell us what's next.
Dry, irritated skin can make everyday life uncomfortable. For those with eczema, psoriasis, or sensitive, damaged skin, Manuka Derm is made with medical-grade Manuka honey, not regular honey, known for its soothing and healing properties. It helps calm, protect, and support skin recovery. Suitable for dry skin, skin tears, excoriations, and minor superficial wounds and burns. Manuka Derm, powered by Manuka honey. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Dennis Lawrence's header was easily the most important goal in our nation's history.
It was a moment that united a nation, built on the biggest gamble in Trinidad and Tobago football.
Sometimes you have to be a villain to be a hero.
But 2 decades later, what happened to the legacy?
Not only have we failed, we've regressed.
From the Edge of Glory, a repeat of the epic documentary, June 10th on CNC3.
Maxi Taxi Association President Vikash Kisundath joins me on the phone line this morning. President Kisundath, I want to say thank you for the time. I know we were carded to speak on Monday, but Monday I know was a lot of moving parts, and finally we're getting a chance to connect. Good morning to you and welcome.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks for having us.
Of course. Would you say this strike thus far is a success? What's been the general feedback? Any moving of the needle in the direction you would like it to move? Any shift at all in the dialogue in some of your recommendations, some of your demands? Is it a success thus far?
Thus far, I would say it was a success where we see the unity of our operators that came together and put the shutdown in motion. Because we've seen that, okay, we have issues and all of us understand the issues. Considering the actual moving in a good direction with the ministry and the government, I don't think so. We haven't gotten any positive response, anything that we would say that is going in a positive direction, considering the issues that we have.
So let me ask, was a request made to meet with the minister prior to Monday? Because I know obviously when everything hit the fan and there was the massive disruption, there was this long, from what I'm hearing, a 5-hour meeting with the minister. But was there ever any engagement prior to Monday? And did you all make a request prior to that whole strike that was out in the public domain? It was out. It's not like it hit people by surprise Monday. Walk me through what happened before Monday. Why took such extreme action to get a meeting with the minister?
Well, it's not the meeting with the minister per se wasn't an issue to get a meeting with the minister. However, what we would reiterate is that every month we have a Max Taxi Advisory Committee that meets. The PS sits in that meeting, so that's basically direct communication to the minister, I will think, right? So prior to that, myself and our president of the AMTT, and the secretary of the AMTT as well too, and we probably had about 2 meetings prior to that with the minister since he is in office, and it was always like a 5-minute meeting. He's always busy to go. He never really took us seriously, but we did have our advisory meetings every month. Since, let's say, for the past 6 months, since the advisory committee had reassembled since he took office.
Okay. So, coming out of the meeting, I recognize that, yes, your recommendations would have been voiced yet again, but there doesn't seem to be any clear timeline as to if these recommendations will now become policy. How do you feel, and what needs to be what's the most immediate change you'll want to see?
Well, we went into that meeting. When we went into that meeting, we already know that we have things in progress because in the same set advisory meeting I've been telling you guys about, we have been getting reports from them stating that they are 80% or 90% completed with something. For instance, let me give you an example with the speed limit on the nation's highways. At 65 kilometers, that's practically you're not moving on the highway, right? What I would say is that the minister reported that he is 90% completed. That is what we got from the advisory ministry. At the committee. When we went into that meeting, the minister notified us that it is not 90% completed. It still has to go through the chief traffic engineer, go for assessment, go through the technocrats before it could be issued. And again, I would say that while the grass is growing, the cow is starving on the other side. Mm-hmm. When we are utilizing the highways, we have to be looking out for these speed guns every single time, and you have to be very shaky about it.
So, I mean, obviously, many of your colleagues would have been stopped and ticketed because they went beyond the 65. Because you see, I'm thinking, I understand why you obviously want to increase it, because even when they took the speed limit for regular motorists from 100 to 80, people felt very frustrated. But I'm thinking because maxis are notoriously, well, not all, never will paint a broad brush or cast aspersions, but some of your colleagues really overdo it. They exceed the limit. They drive very dangerous. You have passengers in the said maxi. So I wonder if that was done to give that extra layer of protection for the traveling public.
No, if you look at our statistics, road fatality statistics, I'm not saying that we don't have the bad apples that who drive recklessly. However, look at our statistics. When is the last time you ever had a fatality with a maxi taxi on the nation's highways? Now, keep in mind this speed limit increase is not for the bus route per se. Everybody thinking that these maxi drive so recklessly on the bus route and these different things, right? We're talking about the highway from north to south, basically, east to west on the highway.
Yeah, I understand, right? because I mean, in all fairness, I recall when it went to 80, many motorists, just that decrease, people were very frustrated. So that's one I hope they look at.
What I would say as well too is that the drivetrains in our vehicles are not designed to work like that, especially for long distances.
Yeah, understood. Any word, because I spoke at length this morning about Citygate, the hub, the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it smells, facilities or the lack thereof for operators like yourself. What's the latest? Because I know you've been lobbying for improvement in Citygate for obviously years. Are we anywhere close to seeing that kind of renovation and improvement?
I don't think so. What we've been asking as an association through the MTTC, we've been asking for hubs and facilities for all our locations. Now we in Citygate, right? Route 2 has Citygate, and they still have some sort of facilities, although it mightn't be the best and it's not sanitized properly, and a lot of different issues they have. In the south side, central, we don't have any sort of facilities whatsoever. We still have operators having to urinate on lampposts, and you know that's a chargeable offense now, right? Imagine that, and this is something that the Goods and Infrastructure Minister is supposed to be providing for our operators, because we are public servants at the end of the day.
Yeah. You see this wall here that's on screen by Sao. I see many a maxi operator using that wall to relieve themselves. Right by the wall next to what used to be the old post office. So I know what you're talking about. I see it in real time. Let me ask you, with no resolution at this moment, are there plans to continue with this action somewhere down the road? What's the plan B, as it were, if nothing happens coming out of this 3-day strike?
We are currently meeting, and we'll be strategizing and coming back again. We're going around the table again and strategize and come back again. However, one thing to note that we are going to apologize to the traveler population. We didn't want it to reach this far for our staff to shut down, but when you see we have frustrated operators, we have no other choice. We have to act as when we are mandated to act, and we were mandated for that 3-day strike action.
Let me ask, I was hearing, because you know I'm a man on the ground. So Sunday I was hearing this talk that if certain operators went out to ply their trade on Monday, they would be egged, they would be bullied, they would be targeted. Is there any validity to that rumor I was hearing? And I got that from a groundsman, one of my groundsmen in the quiz here, and he's always spot on. He's a man on the ground. So what went on with those men who decided, you know what, hey, money I to make, I really had no time with a strike, I going out still?
Well, on my zone, I had operators still operating. Very few, like a handful of them still operating. And on my Curep side, had a little bit more, right? And that I would say we would never incite any kind of violence towards operators who didn't want to support us in that shutdown.
But it's not a guy.
I guess it's probably because of history. But the last time we had something like that, a couple of years back, that happened, and I think it's just people just repeating it, and you know, the talk came up.
Because there was a guy who operated his maxi, a small maxi. He was on the news on Monday, and I recall distinctly the man was saying to the camera, our cameraman, and reporter that he was bullied. He was, you know, almost threatened, not in any violent way per se, but obviously, well, I guess harsh words, you know, Maximen. I know you all speak on a certain code.
It's the jargon that Maximen might use. So let's say he probably enters the gate to offload his passengers. I'm sure he would have been met there with disgruntled operators who were part of the strike action, right? Who would tell them, you know, get off the road, we striking for a reason, you know, and they would be in a kind of tone, again, as expected.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you was able to give some clarity in that regard. Let me ask you, for those looking on, just remind us, just give us a quick overview in the seconds that remain. What are the major demands and where you want to see that immediate shift, other than obviously the speed limit? Right.
So, the speed limit, we have things like the radio permits in vehicles. We're looking at, well, I know this is through the Ministry of Finance, but we're looking at NIS payments for operators. We're looking at hub development and facilities. We are looking at the issue we have with the PH vehicles. Right. So there's just a couple of them that are from the top of my head right now.
Yeah, well, you know, the PH, unfortunately, yes, they run an illegal trade, but they serve such a vital role to take folks to areas where maxis and even some of the hired cars, the H cars, are not going, and especially the kind of time some of these PH men would come out to take folks into certain zones. I know you must know that. You must be aware of that consideration.
And then we have the reason why today with the CH vehicles operated at these hours, right? Especially taxis on them, and us as well too, because of the restrictions we have within the cities and boroughs. And again, you said to probably rural areas you're referring to, those rural areas, and them are not between San Fernando, Shogunas, like you're on the main thoroughfare. Mm-hmm. We understand where the PH come into play in the rural areas, but not on the main roads.
Yeah, understood. Well, President Vikash, I want to tell you, thank you so much for coming on. You'll always have a safe space with us. Feel free to come in at any time. Keep us posted. Let's have a conversation at least once a month now, so at least you keep us in the loop and we give a direct line to the traveling public in terms of your concerns and how we could find a resolution.
Not a problem, man.
All right.
Thanks for having us again.
Yeah, you're most welcome. President Vikash Kisundat, the president of the Route 3 Maxi Taxi Association. As you know, Corpus Christi is tomorrow, the holiday. And we want to get into some of the significance, the observance, its story, and how we could all partake. Roman Catholic Deacon Derek Walcott joins me next.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gallows Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by 2 silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, you get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, your heart deserves better.
At Modern Caribbean Enterprises Limited, we are making this Father's Day extra special. Enjoy special discounts, free giveaways, plus $100 off detox spa session. Experience our infrared ultrasonic blanket. Turn back the clock with our LED non-surgical facelift that reduces the signs of aging. Not sure what dad will like most? Our gift certificates can help him choose his perfect gift. Visit us today and celebrate the fathers, grandfathers, and father figures who do it all. Call 653-0011.
Hey, man. Where are you? Okay. You said 5 minutes. Anyone want dessert? Maybe he's stuck at the office?
Surprise!
Not yet, Carl.
Bro, I'm literally at the altar right now.
Relax. I'm almost there.
We're like the friend who isn't always late.
You have the rings.
CG United. Good like that.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Dennis Lawrence header was easily the most important goal in our nation's history.
It was a moment that united a nation, built on the biggest gamble in Trinidad and Tobago football.
Sometimes you have to be a villain to be a hero.
But 2 decades later, what happened to the legacy?
Not only have we failed, we've regressed.
From the Edge of Glory, a repeat of the epic documentary, June 10th on CNC3.
If you worship on the west side, Pitti Valley, Diego Martin, and the space there, you're quite familiar with Derek Walcott, Deacon Derek. Of course, I want to thank you for being here. I want to extend Corpus Christi greetings to you and the faithful. And more so, I look forward to that deep understanding, because many would know of the holiday, they will enjoy the holiday, but the significance, and that's what I guess you're here to really unpack the layers. So let me thank you for being here, and I look forward to our discussion this morning.
Good, I'm happy to be here. So sorry it couldn't be longer, because to unpack this amazing mystery will take quite a long time. So I'm gonna have to give everybody the TikTok version. Right? I'll give everybody the TikTok version of Corpus Christi.
Walk me through the observance and its significance on the calendar of events and commemorations during the calendar year.
Yeah, first of all,
where does Corpus Christi lie in that conversation?
All right, let's unpack this. Where does Corpus Christi lie? First of all, what are we named after? Trinity. So Corpus Christi is the Thursday after Holy Trinity Sunday. So so ring that bell. Thursday represents also the time of when the Holy Eucharist was instituted on Holy Thursday, right? That was before Good Friday. That was before the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. But because it was around Holy Thursday, the church God felt, hey, there should be another time where we celebrate this amazing feast, the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ. And so you had a nun who was watching the moon. She saw a little round space in the moon, full moon. And she just said, why is that dark spot there? Something is missing. And her whole meditation on it felt, hey, a day to celebrate in the calendar of the church, right? A day specially devoted to the Holy Eucharist, you know? So Corpus Christi, and that came through Father Pope Urban IV, and then he instituted it, and then it went across to the Catholic world, and of course, you know, Trinidad and Tobago. Spanish came, they saw the three hills, they called us Trinity, La Trinidad, and therefore, they had us from 1498 to 17-something, and with the capitulation of Spanish to the English, they said, here, what's going on? You have to keep that day, Corpus Christi, as a specific holiday where we could celebrate this amazing body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus. What
customs are associated with Corpus Christi? Because I know every particular holiday there would be certain procedures, certain protocols, as it were, certain traditions. What is distinctly unique, or I guess part of the Corpus Christi observance?
Holy Mass first.
Yes.
Then what we have is a whole procession of the monstrance containing the body of Jesus, body, blood, soul of Jesus Christ throughout the city, where we proclaim Jesus Christ is Lord, where we proclaim that this is the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Christ. And this is processed throughout our streets of every single Catholic parish, over 60-something Catholic parishes. We process with the monstrance, right? And we say, we believe that this is truly the presence of Almighty God.
And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing on screen here right now.
And that is what you're seeing. So throughout Trinidad and Tobago, that's what you're going to see. And we're going to celebrate that on the Thursday after Trinity Sunday. So here we have Trinidad. Here we have the Thursday after, reminding ourselves that it was on that Thursday when the Eucharist was instituted at the Last Supper. And so there's so many wonderful things that come out of that, you know. And why does it matter today? It matters today because Corpus Christi is more than a remembrance of the Last Supper. More than that. Jesus is truly present, body, blood, soul, and divinity. And the feast invites all Catholics, not merely to receive Holy Communion, but also to adore Christ in his true presence, you know, and to tell the whole world, this is what we believe. You know, this is what we believe. And there are so many wonderful things dealing with Trinidad and Tobago. You know, I kind of wrote down a couple of things which I think is important. So, solemn mass, Eucharistic processions, right? Then benediction, right, of the Blessed Sacrament, visits to the sick and homebound, because this is what we do. We take Christ to them. And this is something that is unique to Trinidad and Tobago, right?
What is that?
Planting.
Yes.
Planting. Oh, you can't forget that. This is an agricultural tradition.
I thought that was probably something that was a bit regional or even more international. So that is a unique.
That's a Trinity thing.
And unique. We have put our kind of flavor on it, as it were.
Plant fruit trees, sow vegetables, begin kitchen gardens. I did an interview with some young men some years ago, and they said this to me, and I said, wow, I can't patent on this, but I'm going to see it. Soil is the new oil. And when they brought this to me on my own television program, I said, wow, we got to tell people this. Because that is it. You know, we're talking about this is what, just as the earth gives us life, God gives us life. The Eucharist gives us life. And so that's why we bless seeds, and we give out seeds, actually. We give out seeds, the Catholic Church, we give out seeds and say, hey, go plant.
That's something definitely, I know there is that correlation between Corpus Christi and people planting and using that opportunity to start, whether it be their home garden, you know, farmers. It's really ingrained, but I didn't realize it was a uniquely Trinidad and Tobago experience.
Yes, and you know, even more, you know, there's a spiritual meaning for Trinidad and Tobago. What does the Eucharist teach us? Unity instead of division. Unity instead of division. Self-giving instead of selfishness. And communion instead of isolation. You know, and that's why we have such a remarkable people, that all people share their own religious beliefs and so on, and we live together in harmony. Even though plenty of people want to break us up, we live together in harmony, and the Eucharist is all about communion. And therefore that's what we profess on Corpus Christi, communion. We believe in the body, blood of Christ. And you are what you eat. So let me go back to the soil.
Yes.
It's the new oil. You are what you eat.
What are Corpus Christi crops through your years growing up, from what you observe now?
Pigeon peas.
Well, pigeon peas for sure.
Pigeon peas. And all of these small crops that you would grow. But even fruit trees, I mentioned fruit trees. So plant your fruit trees. Plant up your Julie mango and your starch and your zaboka. Plant your fruit trees, you know, and your small crops, your tomatoes, your cucumber. You see, look at where this whole thing falls. Trinidad and Tobago is in such a unique place in the world. It falls at our rainy season.
Yes.
So at the beginning of our rainy season, so here we are, Trinidad, named after the Trinity, you know, and then we plant in. Soil is the new oil.
Planting is so important. I saw a quote, and I'll kind of paraphrase, because I want to kind of give it that collective touch. And it basically says, you know, great is that individual, because it would have said great is the man, but I want to encompass everyone, women, children, everyone. Great is the person, as far as I'm concerned, who plants a tree knowing fully well they will never enjoy the shade. To me, that is so powerful. You know, the fact that you're putting something there so that future generations could enjoy, especially those big trees. You know, most of those big trees we enjoy today, somebody planted, right? But that person planted that tree never really get to enjoy the shade, never get to see the pui blossom. They just plant it and leave it there.
Yeah. And that's giving of your own self. You know, that's why we sow this seed. We may never see what blossoms from it. And that's why, as Catholics too, that's why it's so important for us to proclaim that Jesus Christ is Lord, to proclaim that we believe in this Eucharist. We may not see the communion that Christ wants to bring throughout the entire world, but one day it will happen. Our whole thing is, you plant the seed, let the Lord do his work. So we will continue to celebrate his body and blood. We will continue to profess, I believe that Jesus Christ is Lord. I believe in the Eucharist.
Yeah. You know, I want to ask you, because I'm seeing this development. I was actually telling you how I would have confirmed at St. Mary's RC Church some years ago. And I saw the incident there and how Father Payat intervened. And I'm saying to myself, you know, how we even get to that? Why would someone... Because it's not only just the Catholic Church. I've seen people interfere with temples. They've gone into houses, places of worship. I'm trying to figure out, you know, it's not obviously majority. It's clearly folks who, I don't know what's the objective, but when these things happen, I mean, what goes through your mind? What's your sentiment? And how could we, because I guess more than prayer, how could we make adjustments in the society so that people won't target a church of all places?
We've lost the sense of the sacred. And we've lost the sense of the sacred, I believe, in understanding that we are sacred. And therefore, if we could recognize that we are sacred, made in the image and likeness of Almighty God, then I believe that we can transform this world. And so because we've lost the sense of the sacred, there's no more respect for what is holy. So what do? Start with the young. Start with the young. And that's why I love families. I teach First Communion classes, and I teach them, I want you to have a relationship with God first. So from very little, teach it to run. They know how to go onto the iPad, they could thumb and go through. But are we spending time teaching them of the sacred? That there is God, that he created you in his image and likeness, and that we're meant to see. Let me look at you, Jason. I should say, I see Jesus in you. And you should be able to say, I see Jesus in you. And that way, if we can see Jesus in each other, the sacred in each other, we will never disrespect each other.
It's true. It's true. Because, I mean, I saw that. I recall what happened over some years ago in Gonzales, too, you know, and the fact that I'm saying that, you know, somebody could break into the church, boy. But, I mean, Father was very brave to confront them and clearly, you know, kind of put a stomp in their wheel there. And I hope it's something we never see again. It's when I see these things, I'm truly heartbroken.
Well, let us be good witnesses.
That's right.
Let us go. You're a good Catholic boy. You did First Communion. You made your confirmation. And therefore, we all must be visible witnesses by what we say and what we do. And then when people watch at us, they say, hey, I know that boy.
Yeah.
You know, I see God in him.
Let me ask, Derek, as it pertains to St. Anthony's parish, where you worship there, what time is Mass?
7 o'clock in the morning.
7 a.m.?
7 a.m. in the morning. So we're going to have the Holy Eucharist, and then we're going to process from St. Anthony's, and we're going to go down by KFC. And then we're going to, at that place, we're going to have adoration, we're going to have benediction, we're going to kneel down in the mud.
Yes, okay.
And I heard that we're going to get some rain. Which is normal.
Yes.
You know?
But I would imagine most of the parishes would be having an early Mass.
All parishes, even at the cathedral where I normally assist Archbishop Charles Jason Gordon, we're going to have the Eucharist, we're going to have the procession, and we process through Trinidad and Tobago, and especially through Port of Spain, through the poorest areas, bringing Christ to people. And also, with those people who are processing with us, hey, look at your brothers and sisters. Look at your brothers and sisters who are struggling. Hey, what does that call from you? Communion. Reach out, touch, be life-giving. Because we, you know, that's why Christ was born poor, you know. And therefore he calls us to recognize his self in the least of our brothers and sisters.
Derek Walcott, I want to ask you, before we wrap things up with the discussion, to offer a word of prayer on this Corpus Christi occasion to the nation. The floor is yours.
Almighty and ever-living God, who sent your only begotten Son into this world so that we may have life and life to the fullest. We pray for this beautiful country of Trinidad and Tobago, named after the Trinity. And as we are about to celebrate Corpus Christi, where there's that whole call to communion, we pray, dear God, that you will bring communion, that you would teach us that we were created in your image and likeness, and that we are called to see in each other our brother and our sister, regardless of our race, regardless of our religion, but that we are all one. Bless Trinidad and Tobago and help us truly to become one. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Brother Derek, I want to thank you so much. Great conversation.
My pleasure.
Corpus Christi greetings to you and the faithful indeed.
Great.
So with that, we take a pause and we come back. We give you that, again, as he said, the shortened version. We could talk all morning on it, but indeed there's a deep understanding. That deeper understanding is now in place, and we will be here for our Corpus Christi installment. So look out for us. And again, sincere thanks for tuning in. Let's take the pause and we come back.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Run Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Run Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Run Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Parents will do it, they'll go to work, have a day, bro, and come and take that stress out on you.
Welcome to another episode of Manhood.
Everybody will do what they need to do to get what they want.
And if they can't fit in to the norms, then what do they do? They're surviving.
Not everybody wants to kill me because I might be all kind of thing, but I think I'm a good person.
The aspect of a mentor seeing something in you that you can't see in yourself.
Check yourself, because you shape that generation.
Are we losing in many ways the values?
Since I have this practice of diagnosis, there's a group, a very small group, type group, who will always look after me.
So it's 10 minutes before 7 a.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. As you know, Devant Maharaj would have been part of the People's Partnership Administration during their tenure from 2010 to 2015. During that time, he had the responsibility for PTSC. And based on what's happening with the strike, he decided to send us a voice note. He's weighing in, he's giving his perspective on the situation. So let me listen in and allow you also to listen in, and then we will also give our opinions on this when we open the lines after 7. Let's hear from Devant Maharaj.
As the former chairman of PTSC during the period of the People Partnership, I know firsthand the tough decisions and what needs to be done during a strike. During the 2010-2011 period, Maxi operators launched a protest strike against the government in an effort to see some grievances sorted out. Minister Jack Warner and I planned, we anticipated, we were out on the bus route from like 4 o'clock in the morning, and we ensured that the public was not disrupted in their transportation needs by putting into effect several measures to ensure that people were able to move to and from work, to and from school, and as a result, we brought the Maxis to the table and we had open and frank discussions with them, and we had thereafter a very cordial, productive relationship to the Maxi Taxi Association. We implemented the management committee between PTSC and the Maxi Taxi Association, which was mandated by law but never implemented by previous governments. And that laid the foundation for a very strong, productive relationship with the Maxi Taxi Association. However, Minister Zaku in this present government seems not to have any concern for the transporting the public and how it's being affected. In fact, they want to have these negotiations and pander without really being genuine about it. Having a meeting for 5 hours without any resolution is an indictment and a failure of the minister to adequately solve this problem. Because I've worked with these Maxi Taxi associations, and they are people that they are genuine with what they want, and once you are sincere with them, you could arrive at an acceptable solution.
So the voice of former PTSC chairman there, Devant Maharaj, weighing in on the current impasse and the strike. We'll get a chance to express ourselves more after 7 when we open the lines, but before that, a quick reminder of ways you can contact us. Well, there's one main way. You can send an email to tmb@cnc3.co.tt. We'll see you soon on the couch or via the Zoom line. See you soon. Let's head to the social media handles where we stay on top of all the happenings. Right? It's Instagram at CNC3 News, Facebook at CNC3 Television, X at CNC3 TV, hashtag TMB. We head to the mobile app, your #1 source for verified breaking news, all your favorite content and programming details there readily available. On the legacy product, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, 108 years in the making, standing firm for a century plus. And we've been able to adapt, move with the times, and now you can enjoy the digital Guardian on your laptop, tablet, smartphone, your computer, when you visit guardian.co.tt. Here's our food for thought. Success consists of getting up just one more time than you fall. Again, success consists of getting up just one more time than you fall. Consistency, staying on top of it, not giving up. Well done. Beautiful words to take us to the weather update. Sigoni's up next. Good morning, Sigoni.
Hi there, I'm I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your daily dose of weather. Right now across the islands, we do have a little bit of moisture that's going to make its way into the general area, which means we could see some quick passing showers in the forecast, but that's not all that's happening out there. We also have a significant concentration of Saharan dust now pushing into the Caribbean Sea, but for Trinidad and Tobago, we're seeing a fluctuation in that dust haze concentration. So some areas will still be hazy and relatively dry, but we're also looking out for some increases in moisture and instability that could produce some showery activity for us. And that means the dust will be at bay for a little bit. So conditions in Tobago right now, it remains mostly fair, hazy and breezy, although a few isolated showers will be possible during the afternoon period, with a few showers lingering into the overnight forecast. For Trinidad, we're expecting partly cloudy spells and scattered afternoon showers with a very low chance of an isolated heavy shower or even a thunderstorm, and that's mainly across eastern and southern districts of the island. What we're also seeing here is that while many areas stay dry and under warm temperatures, communities in South Trinidad may want to keep an eye on the sky during the afternoon commute and be mindful that some of the winds accompanying these heavier downpours may also gust at times, particularly near showers. Now, if you're thinking about heading offshore, seas do remain moderate, though we are looking out for occasionally choppy conditions at times in those nearshore areas. Otherwise, open water interest, you'll be experiencing waves up to about 2 meters in height. And of course, there is a reminder that spring tide, it comes to an end today. So all marine interests are still advised to exercise some caution, especially during the high tide times, as stronger tidal currents and occasional choppy conditions can affect your nearshore activities. And with that, hey, that's your outlook. That's it from me.
Thank you, Sagoni, for the weather report. With that, we get ready for the 7 a.m. news update. After the 7 a.m. news update, your calls live. Let's talk.
You shop it, you stock it, now it's time to own it. Introducing the West Indian Traders Limited Initial Public Offering, your opportunity to become a shareholder in the company, delivering the brands you know and love. With 30 years of success, WIT is opening its doors for every consumer to invest in its growing future. Offer closes June 5th, 2026, and your minimum investment is only $100. Visit goipo.jncb.com to review the prospectus and apply today. The lead broker and arranger is NCB Merchant Bank Trinidad and Tobago Limited. Conditions apply.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, in Deba Shagonas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Volleyball filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Name something people stick their noses into. I'm going to say, into the oven. This game is going to hell. Stick your nose in the oven.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian Radio. This is us.
Time check. Brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Jesse Ramley with headline news here on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says the government will not be reversing regulations establishing 15 no-protest zones despite threats of legal action from a coalition of trade unions. Speaking with CNC3 News on Tuesday, the Prime Minister suggested unions should focus on issues that directly benefit their members. Persad-Bissessar argues that authorities cannot allow large gatherings near the facilities stipulated in the legal notice because gangs may infiltrate, adding, quote, "It is just common sense," end quote. The Prime Minister also brushed aside the union's threat of legal action, saying she is not concerned. She further contended that citizens can protest within the law, stating, quote, "Citizens are free to protest, free to shut down the country, or free to turn up to work on any day." The Prime Minister added that at the end of each month, every individual has to pay their bills, and therefore they should make choices that best suit them. Yesterday, the group of unions threatened court action, arguing the restrictions infringe on constitutional rights and traditional labour freedoms. In other news, almost 2 months after a jet ski accident claimed the life of his 7-year-old daughter in Tobago, Arnold Jogi says he's still waiting for justice. Angelica Jogi was killed on April 8th when a jet ski sped into a bathing-only zone at Pigeon Point Beach. A 32-year-old man was arrested the next day but later released, and police have yet to lay charges. Jogi told CNC3 News the only update he's received is that the matter is still under investigation. The tragedy has raised questions about beach safety and jet ski regulations. On Sunday, jet skis were seen racing just meters from swimmers at Storby. Following a High Court ruling, operators must now stay 100 meters away from the bathing zone at Pigeon Point. But officials at Storby say they've had no complaints and aren't considering a buffer zone there. And Local Government and Rural Development Minister Khadija Amin admits the Municipal Police Service has been operating with serious loopholes and says government is moving to close them. She was responding to criticism after the deadly gun and ammo heist at the San Fernando Municipal Station on April 19th, which claimed the life of Corporal Anushka Eversley and saw hundreds of weapons stolen. Amin urged officers to use the negative publicity to strengthen the service, noting they've moved away from being seen as market police. But she also pointed out the service operates under two entities, the Statutory Service Commission and the Public Service Commission, making it difficult to address disciplinary concerns.
Structures in there is different from that of the TTPS, and that provides loopholes for officers who do not demonstrate the best levels of discipline. It also provides some headache for the seniors who put report after report and then nothing comes out of it. And when the mark boss, as they say, it reflects badly on the entire station, on the entire municipal police service.
Well, stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Welcome back. Let's get into our calls for today, Wednesday, the 3rd of June. I believe St. James is standing by. Good morning, St. James.
Hey, JW, morning, bro.
Morning, my brother.
Things going?
All is well, man. Go right ahead, man. I'm listening.
Blessings, blessings. Well, yeah, I watching the episode for today. I totally agree with your perspective on Citygate. It could use a cleanup. No questions about that. The structure is not a problem, and not just Citygate. The city and all areas of Trinidad ever so often. I don't think it will be too costly. It could use just a simple, manual scrubbing I don't see it being a problem. I think that would really inspire personal pride, community pride, national pride, that the streets, the areas are clean. I believe so. Persons could provide their perspective on it, but I don't see that being too costly, and I see it being a good thing to inspire pride in the communities. So I totally agree with that. I watched the interview and I listened with the Mr. Vikash Kisundat. I listened. He said the feelings of employees, the maxi drivers, and I just give a general take that, a contractual agreement, if it is that one person, if in a case an employee, they are providing their part, then obviously an employer should meet their part, and vice versa. If an employer is providing their part, employees should meet their part. So he mentioned payments and everything. Obviously, I would agree that should be met, no questions about it. Labor should be provided, payment should be provided. And he mentioned hub upgrade. Well, I think for right now, the hub is good. No issues. It's just the cleanliness of the hub. I think citizens would prefer. So I will keep it brief. Thanks for the opportunity to contribute and keep up the great work.
Yeah, St. James, you're most welcome. Well, obviously, there needs to be a cleanup with the main hub, but there are some areas where there is no hub, like Shogunas. And Shogunas is standing by on the line. Shogunas, good morning. Good morning.
Pleasant good morning.
Yeah, Shogunas, welcome.
All right, so Jason, this is the tree of the situation with the markets and everything, but I see like as the days progress, because yesterday was better than Monday, and I believe that today is going to be better than Tuesday. In connection with your caller from St. James, I agree with him that sometimes, we need to come out and give our perspective on this, and it ain't taking nothing much, because sometimes we need some more ideas, we need some more suggestions, to get things done. If you understand what I'm saying, right? I believe that what is going on in the country right now, people not taking the time people need to take more time to find out what's going on with themselves, right? Find out what's going on with themselves, rather than being attached to too much of organizations and this, that, whatnot, and the other. Because I'll tell you something, Jason. I see a lot of people out here, right? Even within Shogunas itself, and these people and them, there are a lot of people, but people not focus on what's going on with themselves, focus on self-development and nothing. Everybody that's in with a crowd, everybody that's in with some sort of organization, they want to move in a certain direction. A lot of people out here, they're moving in a direction, they know why they're doing that, but they just know they're doing that for some reason. Understand what I'm saying? Only because that might be the norm. So I want to tell Trinidad, listen, all you get up and let's try and do something better for yourself now. Try and do something better for it. If something ain't making sense out here, don't do it. Understand what I'm saying? Ask yourself this question: Would you advise your children to do what it is you're going and do? And then you'll get the answer, yeah, yes or no. You have a good day, Jason.
Oliver Shogunas, thanks for touching and sharing this morning, for touching base and sharing. And that's been a constant chorus from him, the ability for us to do it ourselves, to get up and get. Some people honestly need a little help over the line to Shogunas, but I understand where you're coming from, that, ultimately we are the architects of our own victories and triumphs and our failures too. If we really real with ourselves, we are the ones that sometimes put ourselves in a gear, whether good, bad, or indifferent. Let's hear from Aruka. You're live. Welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome, Aruka.
Yes.
Listening.
Yeah, my problem right now is these ministers, left and right. When I say left and right, PNM, UNC. When they want to walk around, to rent out your airs with the goodies, they go do this, they go do that. All of them, they'll be smiling, and they're just begging you to come in, put your finger here. But when these people get what they want, down to the phone, you can't even get them. You can't call them on the phone, you can't get them. You're not seeing them. That minister that sit down there for a year and have these fellas in them for 4 hours for you to tell them you ain't doing nothing up to now. Because next gentleman that I am watching, this Mr. Maharaj in trade, Miss Goopy Spoon take so long to get them fellas and them a license to pick up the steel around the scrap business. You could tell me, he said on there here, and up to now he can't even fix that little scene to get them fellas a little license. That is people putting in off the road from looking to do wrong things. I don't understand these people, and then for time they get in that office and they sit down in the Red House. They forget the man on the ground or the lady on the ground who put them there. But UNC, all you check all yourself, because all you ain't going to be seeing it good at all for the next election. Local election coming here, they have problems to go through. I do have time to go and vote, but I just watching on. Because I ain't voting for none. Because none are doing nothing proper. So, Jay, talk to them politicians. You could talk to them. That chair you're sitting on in there, more powerful than that chair them fellas and them feeling. Because they don't listen to nobody. You see, each time you just take to come out here and listen to us, listen to people talk to you, them fellas, they had that inside of them. Talk to them.
Yeah,
bye.
Thank you, Aruka. I want to share a sentiment and add to what you just said, because it's true. I've always said the most important part of any conversation is not just the ability to talk and articulate, it's the ability to listen, you know. Listening is so important. Is when you listen, people tell you exactly what's going on and tell you what needs to be done, and if you listen to the recommendation, you could get it done. And let's move past all the bureaucracy and stuff, just simple wins. Start having some simple wins and then the big ones. And there are some simple wins. There are some certain ministers making certain strides, and Julian John and others making certain strides, simple wins. But then you have to try to move towards the big wins. I have to say also kudos to the AI minister. Look at that simple win. Remember the man, he sat on the couch and said, Jason, I will bring an end to that filling out of the form and we'll put it digital. And it's a simple win. It's something that the man would have done, and we're talking that for years. But for others who just duck in media, not making no sense, you have to move up. You have to move up. Let's head now to Valencia. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Jason. How are you today?
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I've been trying to get onto you for a long time, but I'm waiting my turn, and today is my turn.
Excellent.
So I'm happy to be talking to you.
Excellent.
You know, I have a lot to say, but I will just touch on what is at hand now.
Yes.
Right, where Citygate is concerned. As a youngster, yes, I would have had to commute between Barrett and Port of Spain at one point in time, traveling in the PTSC bus and the regular transportation in the little hubs and so forth, right? And it is the same. Because I would have taken lessons in Port of Spain, so it is the same.
Nothing changed.
There are no changes. Nothing has changed. And let me tell you, you see that roof? I don't care what they have to eat in Citygate. I am not buying it, because those pigeons up in that roof, you see how that is look?
Yeah, I saw. Rusty and dusty.
Rusty and dusty, according to you. It is dirty. Pigeon poop all up in the roof. I can't eat, sorry. I can't buy the KFC. I can't buy the, no. Something, nah. You buy something and you look up. I feel like I would want to throw it away. Then they have a doubles vendor in there too. At one point in time, I think I saw a doubles as you're going to cross the walk-in, as you're leaving Citygate there, on the side where KFC is. There used to be somebody selling doubles too. I can't buy in there. Sorry. They need to fix that roof.
Yeah, I understand. And,
right?
And let me tell you, the resources that this country wastes over the years, Valencia, we could have fixed Citygate and create so much more, the amount of wastage. The fact is, look at us, when we travel Valencia and you go and you see other travel hubs, New York, Washington, D.C., you go to the Middle East. These places state of the art, it's like, wow. And then you come home, and oh gosh.
Okay, this again.
Yeah, we could do better than that, you know. We can do better.
I just want to touch on something really quickly, Jason.
Go ahead.
You see the communication balance? It off, where reporters and ministers are concerned, you don't treat people like that. You don't just watch them and pass them by. They ask you a question, simply say, look, Therese, I don't have time right now. We are going into a meeting. Don't blow air in a plastic bag and walk off. Don't give small, petty comments. Comment or not. Don't treat them like that. Akash is a really nice guy. It had a time somebody said something about Akash, and he right behind Ryan where the reporting is concerned. They're all so nice. You all are so nice there. I just look at you all. You all are very professional people, and how you could say that? You could treat them like that. Just say, I don't have anything to say right now. I'll comment at a later date. And in fact, with you on your chair, there's supposed to be more people sitting in that chair coming to interview and update the public on what is really going on. Because, we just here, we're waiting to hear something, that will boil the blood, and the blood in boiling, it just burning down because...
Well, Valencia, I could tell you with no fear of contradiction that the invitation is always extended by our producer to all these ministers, and very few show up. And I do understand what's the mandate, if there's some kind of gag order, if these people have no independence or no common sense or no mind of their own. Because at the end of the day, whether they have a particular bias towards me or they feel a certain way about me, if it's one thing that we can't refute is my professionalism and anyone, David Naked, me and David Naked are no friends. Trust me, David Naked, there's one man that not a fan of the man at all. I think he's not a fan of me, but when he came here on the program, I could tell you, respectful, cordial, and he answered the question. He was brave enough to step in, and we had a matter of fact, I actually felt much better towards him based on the interaction. I say, you know what, this man actually showed up.
He's really nice, I could approach him, you thought, that I couldn't.
So I don't know, I some big bad wolf. They must afraid me, or they must afraid.
No, what I'm thinking is that they think that you're going to ask them their private business that's what's going on in the house. We're not concerned with that. We want to know what's going on with the public, what your job is, what Valencia, you're there to do.
Well, I want to thank you because we've had a great discourse, and I want you to, feel free to continue calling so you can be part of the regular team on the program. We want to move now from Valencia to Santa Cruz. To wrap things up with the calls. Santa Cruz, the floor is yours.
Santa Cruz, and morning to the people of Santa Cruz. Feeling nice this morning because the weather very cool. But okay. Jason, I have an issue with the government in terms of the no protest, 15 no protest areas. And I remember growing up as a young man, when they had protests, when they wanted to protest in Port of Spain with the whole question of garbage collection, and people advising the late Dr. Eric Williams, call out the army, and Eric Williams replied to the people, he said, listen to me, he said the only weapon the people have is to protest. If you take that away from them, you stifle the country. So what actually the UNC is doing is stifling this country, because as long as you put the key zones where people have to protest, where people's voice must be heard because of their dissatisfaction, then I'm saying to Kamala Prasad-Bissessar that she like a mother who gives birth to children and abandon them in the time of need, because she was one who was vociferous against the PNM, and now you're seeing the same thing. My second point is, you have over 165 countries actually protesting with America and the might of America blockade against Cuba and causing serious hardship on the Cuban people. And yet still for all, this government with not standing up with the rest of countries with the blockade, but in terms of supporting America. Where is the humanitarian cause in this country? Where is the Prime Minister? All the nice words she say that there was Prime Ministers before her, there will be Prime Ministers after her, but there is nobody love you as I do. If this is love, well, I don't want this love to be right at all. Thank you, Jason. This is Mr. Santa Cruz signing off.
Yeah, I think that statement in all fairness, and again, not defending the PM at all, never will. I think it's to do with the Trinidad and Tobago audience. I don't think that love is extended clearly. Well, clearly, we could see the love is not extended to anyone beyond the shores, especially Cuba, because she would have questioned their governance and their style of leadership recently. All of a sudden, we have an issue with Cuba's style of leadership. Granted, they've been running the country since the 60s. And even as it pertains to her love for locals, for the Trinidad and Tobago base, yeah, if it's love we're dealing with, well, this love right now, it's feeling, there's probably tough love. I guess it has something called tough love. Probably that what's going on here Santa Cruz, or probably it's tough love Santa Cruz, if we try to make sense of it. Let's head to Bamboo. We're going to extend the calls this morning. I think we have some time, Bamboo, so go right ahead, man.
Morning, JW.
Good morning.
Now I want to highlight an issue, and the reason I'm highlighting that is a former works minister spoke out, and this is one of the issues facing the Maxis with the speed limit. Now I want to make a point out something to you here. The speed limit between Grand Bazaar on the Uriah Butler Highway, now we're talking about a highway here, the Mount Hope, is 60. The speed limit around the Savannah, when I asked a question, is 65 kilometers. It was 50. Now, between the two areas, which is more high risk, in fact, we have a hospital en route. If I leave Bamboo to drive at 60 kilometers, by the time I reach here, God forbid, the person may not make it. So I don't understand why it is. Is it that it is a generating revenue highway for the Ministry of Finance? Does that highway fall under the Ministry of Finance? I'm asking the question, right? So I hope when the Minister of Transport is looking at this issue, that they will take that into consideration. So this is not a main road. And this is why I made the comparison with the Savannah and the highway. Maybe some bourgeois down on that side want to reach over, so they change it from 50 to 65. So I just want to make that point. In fact, going forward, you see how you used to go and highlight those potholes? I would like you to go around and see the speed limit, the ones that are designed to save lives and the ones that are designed to generate revenue. And let's do something about it. Highlight it, just like how you highlight the potholes. Yeah. I am for safety, but this is ridiculous. You can't have a major highway.
But you're also for common sense, obviously.
Yes, of course.
You're also for common sense. I understand. I mean, important point. You see, I think, Bamboo, if you're still there, you're gone. I was going to engage him a little bit there, but I think it's just, obviously, some of us, we overdo. So I guess it's probably put there as an extra precaution based on some of the bad actors, unfortunately. You know, as they say, Peter pay for Paul and Paul pay for all. I've always hated that kind of governance where people who are doing the right thing have to pay for those who jumping out themselves and on the wrong side of the law all the time. Let's head to Malabar now. Yes, what Malabar saying. Good morning, Malabar. Yeah, we have a little more time this morning. So Malabar gone. So we have a little more time this morning. Let's take in some of the calls. Probably we could get some new folks in. We would have had our regular commentators, the Santa Cruz, the Shogunas. I think we have Digo on the line. We have two callers from Digo, so I don't know which one it is. If it's, let me find out. Let me hear the voice. Good morning, Digo.
Morning.
All right, great.
JW, first I want to commend the police, the TTPS, for the service they gave to the traveling public yesterday in getting some of them home. You all take a bow. I think that was very good on you all. JW, I am trying to understand I'm hearing the maxi taxis, what they were asking for in the meeting with the minister. And I am hearing they want the speed limit to move from 60 to 80.
65 to 80.
The PDR. JW, did it be flying down the PDR?
No, I think
what
it's
more speed they want?
I think it's on the highway, you know, Digo Martin. I think it's the highway.
PDR?
No. I think the speed limit request is for the highway.
Listen, I don't think the minister will ever change that. So that's what they're requesting, they ain't getting it at all. And I heard where they call off the day number 2. Today was supposed to be day number 2, and they call it off. I think that was a very good idea. Excuse me, that they made. And JW, like you have to come down the Go Martin. Right now, grass going out of the manholes that I have told you about. There are about 3 broken manholes and grass growing out of it. So, like, you need to come down and highlight them again.
I will.
Have a blessed day.
Yes, you too, Digger Martin. Next thing I want to highlight, I don't know if it's not removed by next week, I'm definitely going with the cameras to highlight it. You see that road that takes you from Curep, when you want to kind of get back to the main road and you pass through the back. Where you call that road? Is that Farm Road? Kind of to the back there, and then you have Wassa, Bangladesh, and Wassa's on that stretch. You see right on that stretch before Wassa, well, the road in a shambles first to begin with. We have highlighted that road a couple times, and that road is in a total mess. But now, adding to the deplorable road conditions, we have, when I tell you, garbage, all down to a mattress. There's a mattress at the side of the road. We're talking debris, rubble, pure garbage for probably a good 20, 30 meters. And I'm saying, if a big rainfall, because back there is a water, there's a kind of main drain close to the school. That's, I believe, now Curep Secondary in the back there. Used to be the junior sec. So there's a big drain there. There's an area prone to flooding. Why are we waiting for some kind of big rain to come and to cause major havoc in the space? Well, it's because it's Bangladesh, because the areas are kind of is not a premium area. No, don't do the people that, man. Whoever's responsible, whether the corporation, whoever's responsible for garbage collection, you see that stretch close to Wassa? Don't do that. That's an eyesore. That's an eyesore, and it's a hazard waiting to happen. I saw it yesterday. You know what I'll do if I pass there again? I'll take my phone and tape it. Seeing is believing. It is ridiculous. A mattress now, whole mattress. Now, granted, some people too need to take that kind of personal responsibility, because some of us, we just put stuff out and just expect, the corporation and stuff to move it. But I know there are certain days you throw out certain debris. You could find out the schedule. We could work together hand in hand, because granted, if folks in the area doing that themselves, it's like self-sabotage. If a rainfall is, you going to be impacted. And if folks can help themselves, and we have folks who have a particular position, who could pass and see that and treat with it, just treat with it now. Come on. So, while we get ready for our next interview, Michael Anisat, who is a stalwart in the trade union movement, would have put forward a statement concerning the restrictions on 15 marked locations. The government would have put a schedule of 15 locations where there's to be no protest. I'm really eager to hear what Michael Anisat says, because he was shoulder to shoulder in the trenches with the now government when they were going through the campaign. So I look forward to hear a statement, and we're going to play that for you right now. Let's take in Michael Anisat.
The blanket ban by the Commissioner of Police is a very chilling and frightening development in Trinidad and Tobago. And I say this against the backdrop that the ban reflects a dangerous outreach under the SOE. And it bans peaceful protests outside Parliament and other key institutions, and which has nothing, in my humble view, to do with fighting crime, and everything to do with frightening citizens and the working class into silence. It is something that we must condemn unequivocally. And I'm saying that issue is so disproportionate. I mean, look at it. Let us think about its citizens. It is so disproportionate and irrational. And in that view, it will not augur so well for our democracy and the right to freedom of assembly, to assemble, the right to, peacefully protest. And I want to pay particular attention, and I want the general public to do their own research. Look at the case involving Marshall Walker, all right, versus the commissioner of police when she went in front of Parliament, a UNC activist. Okay, she went in front of Parliament to do a single person protest, and that matter was resolved, and it sets a clear precedent and established that police has no legal ground to stop a peaceful protest. So that, yes, no one can deny that this is an infringement of Section 4.1, freedom of association, and the right to peacefully assemble, and also a ban on freedom of thoughts and expression. So we have to condemn that kind of creeping dictatorship. I will like to remind the Commissioner of Police and also the citizenry and the working class of Trinidad and Tobago that this right of peaceful protest, the right of freedom of association and peaceful assembly under fundamental universal rights, and also rights which is enshrined in our Constitution, must be guarded jealously. It is something that we cannot play politics with. It is something, is a right which is so fundamental to the human existence. The right to express a contrary view, the right to protest if you are affected. And when one looks at some of the areas that was identified, I raise certain questions in my mind. I see the port and I see all the areas. And if you look at the areas that has been identified, you will see where it would place you as a worker. And we have been doing protests in front of Parliament for years, brothers and sisters. And one must ask themselves as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, if Rosa Parks, if Martin Luther King would have succumbed to those kinds of overuse and abuse of power, where we would have been today. And I think that the time is right for us to stand up as men and women. And I call on all democratic and peaceful abiding citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to not turn a blind eye on this matter or sweep the matter under the carpet. We must consistently express our collective view until that zone ban or 15 institution is removed and placed in the garbage dump of history.
Well, Michael, and he said clearly not holding back, giving his perspective on what's happening as it pertains to that schedule of areas where citizens, union, I guess personnel, anyone, I mean, they don't want nobody protesting, and he said he's up in arms. So it's another discussion. I'm sure we will get a chance to elaborate on that in the days and weeks ahead. But we'll stick a pin for now and get back to the meat of the program. And we're going to treat with investment, the Unit Trust Corporation. They join me next to share some intimate detail, UTC Investments, with the head of investment research and strategy, Philip Williams. He's up next.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
You shop it, you stock it, now it's time to own it. Introducing the West Indian Traders Limited Initial Public Offering, your opportunity to become a shareholder in the company, delivering the brands you know and love. With 30 years of success, WIT is opening its doors for every consumer to invest in its growing future. Offer closes June 5th, 2026, and your minimum investment is only $100. Visit goipo.jncb.com to review the prospectus and apply today. The lead broker and arranger is NCB Merchant Bank Trinidad and Tobago Limited. Conditions apply.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time. Or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
That's right. As promised, we get into that investment conversation and the UTC leading in that charge. We welcome this morning Head of Investment Research and Strategy, Philip Williams, my namesake, and he joins me on set. And let me say good morning. Thanks for being here. And also congrats. I want you to extend congratulations to your colleague, Crystal Rodriguez Graves. I recognize she received a big award at the CFAs over the weekend, the Visionary Award. So when I saw that, I said, you know, UTC again making some major waves. Well done.
That's excellent. And of course, on behalf of the corporation, thanks for having me. It's indeed a pleasure to be here, Jason. Thanks so much.
People hear UTC all the time, you know, and this might be, you know, people might be like, well, you will expect or hope that most will know. But what is UTC when they hear UTC?
So UTC is a household name, but think, you know, when you think of UTC, UTC is one of the leading financial institutions in Trinidad and Tobago and the region. So we have been helping people grow their wealth for more than 4 decades, 44 years to be exact, helping people to grow their wealth. So think of UTC as well as access or an avenue to grow your money. So before, that's the reason Unit Trust was created. Before it would have been very difficult to access the capital markets, to access investment so that your money can do the best for you. And it is through the creation of UTC that this vehicle was formed so that people can grow their money. And the other thing I would highlight is one of our core missions. So, I mean, maximizing profit is great. That's the basis of starting a business. But Unit Trust is really driven by maximizing profits for the unit holders through our distributions, and we've been doing that for decades. So our core mandate is really serving the unit holders and doing the very best for them through the distributions that we make via the profits on the investments or the returns on the investments.
Because you always hear about UTC funds, you know, that's a word that's always there in the public space for contemplation. And again, seeing that you're here, what does that mean exactly when we hear UTC funds?
So think of a collection of investments. So your money is pooled together, right? So mutual fund, you're pooling investments together, and these investments are professionally managed by some of the best and brightest minds of financial professionals in Trinidad and Tobago. they also, so in terms of how we position, when you bring your money into UTC, rest assured that there are people doing the work that is necessary, doing the analysis on all of the heavy lifting to ensure that your dollars are placed in viable investments that you're going to get the very best returns. So we do have investments, not just locally, we have investments locally, regionally, and abroad. So it's a diverse, professionally managed portfolio. And when I say diverse, it just means that there are a number of assets, so the risk is spread over to protect you.
Which brings me to how does one, because we understand now the overview, what unit trust, the ethos, what they're about. But how does one get started? What are the requirements? What's the protocol to get the ball rolling?
To get the ball rolling, I would say certainly move past your mind in the thinking of, well, I can start tomorrow. The best time to start investing would have been yesterday, but today is a great day, and it is the usual stuff that you need to open an account, right? All of the know your customer information. But I will say the first thing is to address your mindset and think about the accessibility that unit trust provides. So if you are having difficulty, some of the funds, or I will give a good example, the TT Dollar Income Fund, you can start with as little as $100. So if you're thinking, well, I'm waiting to save up this lump sum, I don't have enough money. The most important, the biggest hurdle is really getting started. That's what I would say. That's what you need to do, because think about it. Sometimes that's what's really holding you back from making those strides to positioning your money to do the best for you.
How does one know which fund fits them well? Because again, we're getting into that particular phrase where I would imagine not all funds would be the same. How does one really ensure that this is tailored to where I'm at right now and to help me build to the next phase?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, because a lot of times people put money, you have a long-term goal, but you're saving it in a short-term fund. And that's why it's important to ask. So our CSRs, our representatives will give you that information, but it's important for you to know what the goal is. So it could be a short-term goal, it could be a medium-term goal, it could be a long-term goal. So the fund I mentioned before, which is the TT Dollar Income Fund, that's really geared towards a short-term goal. You're saving for something within 12 to 18 months. That's perfect for that. You get an excellent return. It's a great space to park your money and get a great return. If you're more thinking medium to long term, then we have our growth and income fund. We have our children investor startup plan. That's a great start for kids. We have retirement plans through the universal retirement fund. So it is important for you to know what goal you are working towards, and once you share that with us, then we will position you in the right fund.
Why does investing matter right now?
Investing matters because a lot of the goals that you have, particularly the long-term goals, you are giving yourself the best shot by investing to get that return on your money. The other thing I would say is cost of living. So you may have remembered what the cost of bacon shack was 30 years ago. Bacon shack probably around $10. What's the cost of a bacon shack today? I'm saying that to say prices, are going to continue to go up. They say what goes up must come down. Prices will continue to go up. They're not going to come down. The other thing I would say is salaries don't increase as quickly as as inflation will go up. So really investing is to hedge and protect you from price appreciation, is to protect and preserve the purchasing power of your dollar. And not just for you, but for your loved ones or anybody that you are responsible for. Investing is really to safeguard you and position you on a very healthy financial journey.
I would imagine, Philip, that investing needs to also be intentional, because yes, cost of living, how we treat with certain bills now, it's totally different 20, 30 years ago. But I would imagine one needs to sit down with a CSR, sit down with someone and really map this particular plan. And how important is being disciplined with that particular game plan?
That's extremely important, and I'm glad that you frame it in discipline, because that's really the difficult part with your personal finance journey. Somebody might be thinking, well, investing is complicated and I need to be wealthy, or I need to have the knowledge. We take care of that for you. But the personal aspect of it, you being deliberate and intentional, is very, 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 very important. Because as I said, prices are going to increase. And every time you think about it this way, every time you get paid, that's an opportunity to position yourself for the future. And when you don't, you are missing out on that opportunity. So it's important to know where your money is going, have an idea, well, through a budget. You mightn't hit the budget every month, but it's important to have a budget. Be intentional, be disciplined, and stick to that so that you can, be moving in the direction that you want to move.
In the seconds that remain, Philip, what's your closing statement this morning on behalf of UTC?
Well, it's a great time to examine your goals, see where you are. And it doesn't matter whether you have a short, medium, or long-term goal. We have a product that we can position you to help you achieve your goals. So come into any one of our investment centers. We are very happy to assist. And you can visit, sometimes it's challenging to come in, visit our website at ttutc.com to get all of the information that you need. The best time to start investing is today.
Investment Research and Strategy Head Philip Williams, my namesake, touching base. Great to see you, man, and it's been too long, so hopefully we'll get a chance to touch base again soon.
Great to see you too, my brother.
Respect my brother. Yes. Love in the house every time.
Every time.
We will take the pause. We come back with our final interview this morning, and we bring forward a legend in the gospel genre. Sherwin Gardner, Sold Out, The Legacy. Oh my goodness, I look forward to this discussion. I haven't had a chance to touch base with Sherwin in quite a while. He's up next via the Zoom line.
Love eating spicy food, but soon after, that familiar discomfort begins. Heartburn, acid reflux, and bloating. Introducing Peptica Gel, formulated with aluminum hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, and simethicone to help neutralize excess acid. It's sugar-free with no chalky aftertaste and a pleasant orange flavor. Peptica Gel works fast to relieve heartburn, acid reflux, gas, and bloating, so you can feel comfortable again and get back to enjoying life. Peptica Gel, get the relief you need today. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Your heart, brain, and body with omega-3. Packed with essential fatty acids, omega-3 helps support heart health, brain function, and overall wellness. Whether you're staying active, focused, or simply living life to the fullest, make omega-3 part of your daily routine. Live healthier with omega-3. Wellness that works from within. Tune in to Wellness Unlocked on CNC3 Sundays at 5 p.m., also on Monday and Wednesdays at 9:30 a.m.
Dr. Khan, you find this new generation of children just different, girl. Like, I don't know, like what my mother and father used to do with me in terms of discipline and parenting and things. You find that I'm walking this generation, girl, with this generation?
Stefan, you're right, but don't worry. CTA is coming up with the ABCs of parenting in a Trinbagonian style. And we have you, the right man, to start us off.
Well, I thinking that might be a good thing, because what I thinking, we could probably mix the old traditional way and give them some new modern ideas now, so we can help these younger parents, especially. What do you think?
That's exactly what we're gonna do. Let me do it.
Let me go. Let me go.
Sherwin Gardner joins me on the Zoom line, national and regional treasure. I want to say, Sherwin, it's been too long. I mean, I'm staying on top of the work, so I kind of know what's going on. I know where you're at. I'm getting great reports. But when I saw the show carded for home at, of course, Mandalina and then Napa, the two shows, I said, all right, my boy coming home. He's coming to bless up the place. So great to see you, bro. And congrats on all the amazing work you have done and you continue to do. Great to see you and welcome.
Thank you. And good to be on the inside. Good to be seen, I should say. You know, with all that's going on in the world, we bless God for life, for health, and for strength.
Indeed. Sherwin, are you coming home? Are you home already, or you? Because I mean, obviously,
no,
the shows.
No, I'm on my way. After this interview, I had a pack one time, so I'm on my way. Gonna meet the band and everybody when I get there. Pretty excited. Always excited to be home. I was there a couple of weeks ago as well, checking on my mom and family. So I'm pretty excited to hit the stage, I should say. It's been quite some time since I've been on the stage in Trinidad. I think maybe 2 years ago was the last time. So traveling all the world, going everywhere else, you know, whenever you get a chance to minister at home, you're always excited about it.
Yeah, of course. And as you would have said, it's you with a live band accompanying all the classics and, well, any new material to release on the fan base?
Yeah, we have some new stuff. I'm trying to decide which one we're gonna go with this on this trip. We always try to do something new. We have a little bit of an old school calypso-ish praise song that I really like, but I'm praying, and we'll see which one we're gonna hit this weekend.
I'm seeing a microphone in the back there. Is that a home studio show when you do most of your productions?
Yeah, so this is where most of the work is. Behind me is some of the awards as well too. But yeah, this is where majority of the work is. I'm facing the studio actually, so I have all the main stuff in here, doing a lot of writing. We have some major things happening. So outside of me, myself, I've put together a group called the Island Tribe Collective as well that just also got signed and distributed. We had a meeting last night with our A&R from Ty Scott Warner. And it's just amazing to see what God is doing. We have some young ones from Trinidad together with some of the heavy hitters from the Caribbean in one group coming together to do worship. So I'm really excited about that. But this weekend, I think one of the things that a lot of people don't know, the guys who put on this show was part of my journey. That's one of the reasons why I accepted to come home to do this, because we're planning something big as well in the future. But when I was younger, Jason, and learning production, Spectacular Forum was one of the places that gave me a chance. So Spectacular Forum allowed me to be an intern and to learn and to develop, and they had this big studio in the back, and I was just this young boy coming in and recording all the different artists from Trinidad. So everybody passed through there. Guitar Dan, Ninja, Christ Dimension, Sean Daniel, everybody would have passed through there because that's where we were really at. And so when they gave me the call and they said they were doing something, I couldn't say no. I really had to come because they invested in part of my life that is now something that has become global and I'm awarded for. So I give God glory for that.
You mentioned one of my close friends there, Guitar Dan, may he rest in peace. Such a beautiful soul, Father Lead the Way. That's a song that sets my mood every single time. And what you'll do in the genre, granted, yes, I'm still very much within the carnival circuit and the secular space, as they say, but what you'll do and what I feel from the music that you'll create, it is something so enriching to the soul. It really sets the tune, sets the mood, and I know that music is a frequency. It's such a powerful force, and you've chosen to use your talent and your voice to go in that direction. And what you and your musicians, the players of instruments, everybody in the genre, I really respect what you'll do, guys. I mean, trust me, Sherwin. And you're a leader. You are like a real young legend. Have you come to terms with that kind of that kind of part of your career where people see you as this kind legend. Of icon now? Yeah. It's not like you're not getting old. I mean, we're not getting old, right? But at the same time.
Some people, well, they say that I don't look it, but much older now. But I see it now because I see my ministry and my life taking a different path, not only just as a writer and as a musician, but really development too. I've learned a lot of things throughout the years. I'm seated in tables that majority of the artists within the Caribbean don't normally get to sit in. And when Find Me Here went viral 2 years ago, I'm still receiving blessings from that and being able to open doors forever, for others like Alyssa Joseph from Trinidad, Mark Isaac, Johnny Yard in Barbados, Jaco Lawrence in Barbados, we have Alicia Taylor in Jamaica, Kevin Dungswell, all of us rolling together, Colin Christopher, and other people. So, and being able to bring that to the Caribbean, I think now when I travel, I'll always meet people. I could give you a funny story. One time I met this guy, he was in his 70s, and he came to me and he said, "Man, I love your music. I grew up on your music." And I was taken aback because I'm looking at him and I asked him his age and he said, "I'm 76. And I said, "And you grew up on my music?" But then when I did the maths, I started at 5 years old and started recording at 12 years old. So when he was in his 30s, and he was still doing his doctorate and different things like that. He was listening to gospel reggae and gospel dancehall from 1991, 1992. That's how long I've been doing it.
Wow.
So I had to come back and say, wow, this has been a journey, like real talk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was traveling since I was 12 years old. My first island I've been to outside of Trinidad would have been Antigua and Barbuda. So it's been a long journey. And I just give God thanks that, I'm able to still be doing it, but not just be doing it, but still be doing it on a consistent,
of course,
high level.
And folks are going to get to experience that this weekend, Saturday in Tobago,
of course,
Sunday in Trinidad. Just give me the intimate details. We have just like a minute again, so we could get tickets and just know what time and where we need to be Saturday and Sunday.
So Saturday, we're going to be at Magdalena, and that's in Tobago. So we're excited about that. Tickets are available, 98.1. There's a lot of different stores, but I want people to go online. If you go in the link in my bio on Sherwin Gardner Music everywhere. That's just Sherwin Gardner Music on Facebook everywhere. It's already in the link there, so people could go get their tickets. And Sunday we at Napa, excited. It's full band, so we ain't coming with no tracks. It's gonna be the real deal. So we want people to show up, get your tickets early. And this is an opportunity. I was reading some stuff and I realized that there's a lot going on in Trinidad. So this is an opportunity for us to come together and go to God. So we're gonna take a little moment and lift up the country, lift up the nation as well.
Show and safe flight back home, bro, and have a great one. Congrats in advance. I know it's going to be tremendous on Saturday and Sunday. Sold out, the legacy.
Definitely.
Show and Gardner. Great to see you, bro.
All right, blessings. Have a good one.
Blessings indeed. I mean, that young man there, he's a real deal. Real deal. Let's go to some footage of Curab, just to give you in real time what's happening out there. So Amaxi is on the route. People crossing the road, not looking too stressful. That's, of course, Curab, right? Maxi's out here. You could tell that, look, about four big man and one red bus. Remember I said we made improvements in the bus? Much better bus compared to when I was going to school. I remember what we used to call the blue bus. We used to call that the Animal Express, Got a rush, kick, elbow people that get in there. All right, so we head now to Macoya. All right. Is it that the bus route, I know the bus route closed yesterday because I saw people taking advantage of the open bus route. Oh, bus route's still open today? Okay, so I got confirmation that it's extended because I see normal Carney bus route. Look at all of that, like all yourself. Look at the Aqua. You know the Aqua, no bus route pass, right? Look, the Lancer, no bus route pass. They just, hey, bus route open, why not? Look, just. So what I mean, I'm trying to figure out if the bus route open, like, bus route will have traffic now. Clearly. Yeah, it will have traffic on the bus route if once you open a bus route, especially whole day. Well, I tell you. But nonetheless, so in real time, Macoya, we got some footage from Curab. We could safely say, based on what we're seeing in real time, the Maxis are more or less out and about. I believe we're going to take one more before we wrap things up this morning, or should we go straight to the top? Oh yeah, I think we're going to go straight to the top. So again, let's just recap some of the top stories. Let's go back to the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian on this Wednesday the 3rd of June. We're seeing PM not backing down, rejects calls by trade unions for government to withdraw its 15 no protest zones. We're seeing where the minister went down to Citygate, meeting with the children here, getting a chance to take in the sight, sounds, and most importantly, the smell. Right? You could ignore the sight, you could ignore the sound, but the smell, I know the minister got a whiff yesterday, and you could fix it. You could fix that smell. Right? Let's sort out that space. By all means, let's have ourselves a great one. Be safe. God spare. I'm back tomorrow for our Corpus Christi edition. It's going to be just 1 hour, and it's going to be a great show. Very informative as always. So until tomorrow, God spare. Have yourself a productive and I would say a safe day. All the best, TNT. See you tomorrow.
You're watching CNC3. As an affiliate of CNN International, we now join their current programming.
Races there that we still cannot project as elsewhere an unusual setback for the president. A metaphorical bloodbath at 60 Minutes. Scott Pelley fired after speaking out about management there. There are fresh accusations this morning, and passengers jumping into action, holding down a man who tried to open an emergency exit door and also get into the cockpit. I'm John Berman with Kate Baldwin and Sarah Seidner. This is CNN News Central.
So this morning, too early to call. The results are still